Well, playing against DePaul is not your typical game. We told Russ at halftime, it's not the Juice versus the Celtics in the Rucker League. You got to run something. And that's what the game was like. He said, Coach, we're breaking the pressure. And I said, yeah, but and it almost had to be that way because we're using Kevin Ware at the 3, and he doesn't know one play at the 3. So it had to be individual players just doing good things. And we didn't play great, but we played really, really hard.
What was the difference in Russ today versus the past couple games where he's really struggled?
I think the tempo of the game, the way the game was played, it's Russ's, the less organized the game, the better he is.
Did you just kind of throw out the playbook? Or?
No, we tried to run things, but you're breaking pressure. You know, we had to put in a new press offense. You know, I showed up this morning, and Gorky couldn't practice yesterday, and Bullock couldn't practice yesterday. And I said, okay, Gorky, you take off and be ready tomorrow. And he shows up today in a neck brace with the guy, the hammer from the billboard on the side of the road is with him. And so I thought he had an automobile accident. The heavy guy hammer, whatever the hell that guy is, heavy hitter. So I said, Gorky, what's with the neck brace? He said, I can't move my neck, and Fred told me to wear it. I said, are you playing? He said, no. And now we're going to start Zach. I said, okay, Zach, you're going to be able to do it. And not taking anything away from Zach, you got to really flash and pass the basketball. And Gorky, the doctors did something to him. I don't know what they did, about an hour or so before the game, and he was able to play, at least move his neck. And I think just use some illegal drugs.
That set really at 13 and 14 wasn't say about Gorky.
He couldn't. I'm telling you, he couldn't even move. I mean, this was a game where we were really, really tired physically. We didn't have much of a bench, and we needed him to play big, and he did.
I feel like your team maybe answered some questions from the last couple of games.
What did Carolina lose by today? Anybody know?
37, 33.
They'll probably pack the season in now. What do you think, Carolina? Any good? It's a game, guys. We lost by 33, and we were the number one of number 1 seeds. We didn't play well at all. Nobody did. They played great. Providence made shots that we watched every film they played. They never shot the ball like that, and we played terrible. So you give them credit and you move on. There's no question. It's one game. It's one game. The effort has been phenomenal the whole season. The execution hasn't, and you know. And I apologize for getting on you yesterday. What upset me so much is the fact that I've been so disappointed this year and last year that we couldn't practice. So when I heard that stuff, it really got. Normally, I mean, Rick will knock me all the time. He'll knock me all the time. That doesn't bother me. Nobody tells me. It really bothered me because the one thing I missed more than anything else was not having any ability to practice. Yesterday we went for 35 minutes. Never broke a sweat. We're in terrible shape. And it's been that way for a year and a half now. So when I hear that, it turns my stomach. And you know, normally nothing like that bothers me, but this really did bother me because there was a time where I would have said my team's really, really worked, but it hasn't been the last year and a half. And not their fault. They're willing to work. It's just there's sometimes where we have 9 guys in practice. 9 guys. And a manager is dummying up the plays or something, you know. So it's been we've got to stop talking about it because it's been as difficult a situation as I've possibly been in. And the reason I like it so much is the guys give great effort. And we had a really bad game against Providence. They had a great game, so we put it behind us and got a victory.
I think this is the second time in the last 6 games you broke the 7-point barrier. Do you feel like your offense is doing better than it was? Were you working with it before?
Our offense was Russ Smith in the middle of a playground in Queens. That was our offense.
Chris had 20 points too.
Yeah, Chris ran the offense. Russ ran, okay, here comes Tiny Archibald, let me take him. You know. So, you know, but you have to play that way against them because they're always trapping. So you have to flash, look opposite, go back door, and we did those things. You had to rely tonight on basketball instincts, not on an offense. You had to bring 4 guys up against pressure. You know, you have to do this, and they're not going to let you play a normal game. They're going to continue trapping until they get their runs.
With that being said, is this maybe a better game that you didn't have Kyle in because maybe it's more basketball?
Yeah, I think if this was a real basketball game we had executed, we would have been in a little trouble tonight. The fact that it was helter-skelter because we can play that way. and we could have some good runs as well. So we did a lot of nice things, and I was really, really proud of Gorky that he toughed it out, because I mean, really, he could not, he would move his eyes, but not his neck. So I'm real proud of him that he got it out, because we would have been in trouble without him tonight.
Talk about the short turnaround.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Can you talk about the short turnaround going to Marquette, and how's Kyle doing?
You know, I don't know. I don't know how any injuries are. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Gorky will be all right. I don't know if Kyle will be all right. I have no idea.
Moving on to Marquette, and then with the short, I mean, less than 48 hours, I guess, to go up there and play. Just talk about it.
You know, our goal is to win every home game and get 2 road games. That's our goal. Win every home game, gets 2. It's not going to be easy. And you look at the way West Virginia's playing on the road. Certainly, Pittsburgh's going to get it back when they moved Ashton to the 2 now. They look much better. They almost had a win. So it's going to be a tough task. But we've answered the bell every season. I remember 1 February we had to win 7 out of 8, 6 out of 8, something like that, and we did it. So we feel we're going to answer the bell, because we think we will get able to practice and get healthy.
Do you change those things up as the season goes along? Last year you had the 3-game segments that you wanted the team to look at.
We didn't do any of that this year until you do that when things aren't going well, and you want to give your guys a silver lining to look at something positively and not negatively. So you give them those, go, look, we're not out of it, we're fine, here's what we need to do. We're capable of winning every home game. We didn't lose a Big East game last year. You know, you start taking that type of jogging.
Coach, with Buckles, you see glimpses of what he used to be. How close is he to playing that way consistently from a physical standpoint?
Well, you know, it's been a long time, but 15, 20 years ago, an ACL ended your career. I remember it ended Bernard King. He's never the same. Today you can come back, but it takes a good year and a half. Even though they come back from an injury, they don't come back 100%. And you know, like he tweet. I don't know if you watched it tonight. He tweaked his knee running up and down, and he's constantly tweaking it and missing it. He's only practiced, I would say, 20% of the time, because some days we swim him, because he's got to get through this year, and we need him as a backup.
How your team handled Providence, did that teach you something about this team, or just confirm what you already knew?
You're going to make me answer that again after I just gave it. I just went through a whole diatribe about it. You know, I just think we put it behind us. You know, I remember this so well. We lost the 2nd game of the season. I was with UB Brown, who I think is just one of the most brilliant, game organizers I've ever been around in my life. And 2nd or 3rd game of the season, 1st game I was really down. We lost at the buzzer with World B. Free hitting a shot when we led the whole game. It was either the 2nd or 3rd game. I got on the bus and I was distraught. Back then, I had 1 assistant, and I just kept pouting. He said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I can't believe that we lost it." And he said to me, "Is this going to go on for 81 more games?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "We got 81 more to play. Get over it, and let's go." And that was a valuable lesson very early in the season. You know, it's the same thing that you know, Dick Vitale, when he got fired in his 2nd year with the Pistons, Richie Adebayo was with him, and I said, "What was it like coaching with Dick?" And he said, you wouldn't believe it. It's every single, this was a pro game, 100 games a season with exhibition and playoffs. And Bob Lanier, Dick, and Richie were very close. And Dick, the 6th game of the season, they lost like 4 out of 5 and 6th game. He was going, "This is our night. Come on, Big Bob. And this is our night. We're going to kick the hell out of this team. They can't play with us. I'm telling you, we'll peel the paint off the wall. Come on." And Bob Lanier in the middle of it said, "Hey, Dick," raised his hand and said, "It's not going to go on now for 75 more games, is it?" And Dick, I said, "What did he do?" Richie said, "Oh, he was distraught." He got Big Bob after. He said, "Bob, don't embarrass me like that." He said, "Dick, you can't do it like that. You just can't. We got 75 more to play." And I think Dick made a very smart move at that point and going to ESPN, because guys like that and people who take every loss as if it's the last one on earth can't coach in the pros.